How's it going, everybody? My name is Matt George from Sports 1140 KHTK. We are about to head on our way to the Golden One Center, getting ready for Sacramento Kings and Portland Trailblazers. The first game since the NBA trade deadline. Your Kings made some moves, some roster fluctuation. So we're going to talk to some familiar faces, people you might recognize from KHTK, some analysts surrounding the team, maybe some fans as well, get their takes and their opinions on all the moves that the Sacramento Kings made and everything for the team going forward. Let's go! All right, so Jerry, what did you think about all the moves that the Sacramento Kings made in the trade deadline?
Well, basically, I don't think it's going to have a real impact, quite honestly. I mean, it's a case where they just set themselves up to where the young guys need to play more, will have to play more, and get a little better read on the young guys. So I think that was what was behind most of it. And, you know, so it remains to be seen. But I like the idea that the young players will be forced to play more.
From the Kings standpoint, with a young team, obviously it is tough to let go of your George Hill, of your Malachi Richardson, players like that, because they formulate relationships and things like that. But when you look at the moves, you look at the flexibility that you're giving. You know, some people say you're giving up on Pop, but when you got the $3.2 million in the trade, then that kind of squashes his contract. If you didn't see the ability, it's sometimes you got to make those hard decisions and hard moves. And I credit Vlade in the front office with being able to make hard decisions. It's all about getting a core group of guys. Vlade's had 5 picks since he's been here. He's turned them into about 8 or 9. Out of those 5 picks, have we identified 5 players? In my opinion, so far, yes, you have.
All right, well, my opinion, I think the Kings obviously are playing chess. They're not playing checkers right now. They're making moves for 2 moves down the road. It's not about what happened today, Henry. Right. It's really about clearing some salary cap space, putting them in a better position a year, maybe 2 years down the road, so they can acquire more assets. But for right now, I don't really think it really affects this year's team so much, other than it gets the rookies playing even more than they have.
Well, Scott, I think you are playing chess right now, because that's right on point. The thing that the Sacramento Kings are trying to do is that they're trying to create cap space and still try to get their young guys in a position to where they can find something to build around. So I think that's one of the major reasons why they made those moves.
I think so too, Henry.
Well, the thing I like the most is they didn't do anything to mess up this year. Everything was for the future. I mean, everyone knows what this year's about. It's about the young players. It's about the development of the young players. And so what they did at the trade deadline was about the future and giving themselves more latitude to go out and maybe get a free agent and not being, you know, handcuffed by some of the moves. So I'm fine with it. I was a little surprised about the Yorgos Papagiannis because he's 20, but the reality is this coaching staff wasn't on board with him. They weren't going to play him a lot. So I think Vlade actually did him a favor.
I thought the moves were quite interesting. You really didn't know what to expect. You hear and read a whole bunch of reports and thoughts about what could be happening from some of the people that more famously put posts up on social media to people locally. But, you know, let's see how the 30 games the Kings are going to have to play out. You know, you got Iman Shumpert, Bruno Caballone coming in from Toronto. Who knows how it's going to work out, or if it's going to work out? Who knows what the minutes they'll get or how much bench time they're going to get? Let's see it play out as a process that Vlade and Coach Yeager and the basketball operations have to do, and then reevaluate it when we go into the summer.
Well, I don't think there's anything that jumps out and says, wow, you know, it wasn't that kind of an impactful day. But by the same token, when you're positioning for the future and you're talking about a lot of young careers and you're talking about creating cap space, I think the Kings certainly made some significant gains in some of those areas. And I think there are a lot of things that probably even those of us who think we're in the loop are not exposed to, and we don't really know what's going on. So I'm intrigued by some of the moves. I can't say that I'm overly surprised by the moves, but my bottom line is there's not a thing that any of us can do about it. You deal with what the hand you're dealt, and so you go do the best you can with what you got.
I was surprised at the Papagiannis move. I actually did an emergency podcast just because they cut Papagiannis. I wasn't going to do it, but as you can hear in my voice, I had to do it because it was big news. But you and I were talking about Papa earlier, and pretty much we said fans were like, cut him, cut him, cut him. And then when they did cut him, so many fans came out of the blue and said, why did they cut him? He's only 20. He has potential. The fact of the matter is, he's not that good yet, and when you have so many young players, you really have to think about cutting some of the dead meat, and you have to be very, very sovereign, like Vlade Divac, and just cut your losses. And if you made a mistake, you have to cut your losses. In any type of business, you have to do it, and you just got to go with what you have, and what they have is Scal, Harry Giles, Willie Cauley-Stein. They have to know what they have in these guys, so realistically, he wasn't going to get any type of playing time here. I was shocked by his agent today. He came out with these ludicrous comments, but it is what it is, man. I wish Papa knew about the best. And one of the things that I did notice just observing him was he was not very humble. I felt like he was a little bit entitled, and anytime a coach would tell him something, he'd get frustrated and not, like, for example, Bogdan Bogdanovic, great human being, super humble, and he knows he's good, but yet he continues to respect everyone and just be himself. And Papa was not that. So maybe if he humbles himself a little bit better in Europe, develops his game a little bit more, loses a little bit more weight, he'll definitely have a spot here in the NBA.
I think I was surprised that Papagiannis was waived. Not that he really should have been, but that the Kings have really the guts to make that move, to admit that they had made a mistake in the 2016 draft, not once but twice. I think Malachi Richardson has a chance to be a player in the league, but with the way this season's played out for him, he fell behind Justin Jackson in the rotation so quickly in Summer League that you knew something like this would happen. If you look at 10 young players, these are your 9th and your 10th young player. You can't just keep going that young, especially with at least one draft pick and possibly 2 this coming season, this coming summer. And so, you can't have 12 young players on rookie scale contracts on one team. It just doesn't work that way.